5.2% to 4.6% and is expected to rebound to 5.3% in the year 2025 and 2026. So macroeconomic factors of note. First, there is a resilient external sector and stability in the foreign exchange market. The current account deficit actually improved to 3.6% of GDP in the 12 months leading to December 2024 from 4.4% of GDP in a similar period of 2023, mainly due to increase in the export of goods as well as increased remittances. So I'm sure you understand what balance of trade means. That is the difference between exports and exports. And because we are a net importer, if that ratio declines, then it means that we are doing relatively well. Strong diaspora remittances. Remittances increased by 16.7% to US dollars 4,872 million. That is 4.872 billion US dollars. That you can translate to about 630 billion Kenya shillings in the 12 months to November 2024, compared to 4.175 billion in a similar period in 2023. So we have seen remittances increasing exponentially. Remittances increased forex inflows into the country, with some going to investment, while others are supporting household consumption of our people. The other macroeconomic factor of note is stability in exchange rates. The exchange rate to the dollar strengthened significantly to 129.4 per dollar. That is 129.4 shillings by end of January 2025, from 160.8 to the dollar by end of January 2024. This rate has since stabilized in the region of 128 to 130 shillings to the dollar. The other factor of note, or macroeconomic factor of note, is our strong official foreign exchange reserves. I wish to state and report to the Kenyan public that our official foreign exchange reserves, as at the end of December 2024, was at 10 billion US dollars, which is 5.1 months of import cover. So this provides adequate buffers and gives market confidence. And you can see that is one of the reasons why we were rated from negative to positive recently by Fitch and Moody's. So it is crucial that this macroeconomic performance must then therefore translate into liquidity. That is a question that many Kenyans have been asking, that we are not feeling the money in our pockets despite the fundamentals showing very positive signs. Bank lending is one channel through which the monetary base would expand and liquidity would be realized in an economy. So given the outcome of inflation, which is now at about 3.3%, the latest data, Central Bank of Kenya has gradually eased monetary policy by lowering the central bank rate from 13% in August 2024 to presently 11.25% in December 2024, and finally down further in February to 10.75%. In addition, Central Bank of Kenya in the February 2025 Monetary Policy Committee meeting reduced the cash reserve ratio by 100 basis points to 3.25% from 4.25% to lower the cost of funds for banks. This will further support lowering of lending rates and support growth of credit to the private sector. I would pause there and add that when you reduce cash reserve ratio, it simply means that you are reducing the requirements of how much balances commercial banks need to maintain at the central bank. That would therefore, if you lower it, it means you are releasing more money for banks to loan to the Kenyan public. and that has the effect of improving liquidity. I am informed that this reduction alone would make over 50 billion shillings available to our commercial banks to lend to Kenyans, private businesses, and individuals to carry out business, expand job opportunities, and therefore improve the general liquidity in the economy. Interest rates have declined in line with the easing of this monetary policy. The interbank rates declined to 11.2% by January 2025. Compared to the same period in 2024, that is January 2024, it was at 13.7%. So it has come down by 2.5% and has remained within the prescribed corridor around the CBR. Coming to fiscal discipline of the national government, I want to report here today that because of the discipline, the fiscal discipline that the government has imposed, this has resulted into, one, the 91-day Treasury bill rates have declined to 9.11% in February 2025. In fact, for a very long time, the government papers have never traded at a single-digit percentage. For the first time in a long period, we can see now 91-day Treasury bills trading at 9.11%. This has come down from 16.1% in January 2024. The 182-day Treasury bills rate has declined to 9.85% in February 2025 from 16.2% in January 2024. I would further report that the 364-day Treasury bills rate has also declined to below 11% from 16.4% over the same period. So with the strong easing of monetary policy stance, credit to the private sector is expected to recover as lending rates decline. And therefore that leads me to report the following: that with the easing of CBR, that is the CBR rates, to 10.75% in February 2025, and reduction in the cash ratio requirement to 3.25% from 4.25%, commercial banks have this week demonstrated lowering of interest rates with higher percentages. Several banks have already reduced their best lending rates. For example, Cooperative Bank of Kenya has reduced its rate from 16.5% to 14.5%. Kenya Commercial Bank has reduced the rates from 15.6% to 14.6%. Equity from 17.3% to 14.3%, among others such as ABSA, NCBA, and many other commercial banks. It is expected that more banks will follow suit. I want to encourage banks to continue lowering interest rates so that more Kenyans can be able to access credit to expand our economy. The reduction of interest rates charged by banks to the private sector is likely to expand credit to private sector, encouraging investments, creating jobs, and improving the general liquidity in our economy. I want to say something about capital markets developments. Notable improvements as investors' activity at the Nairobi Securities Exchange increased. Foreign direct investment flows have increased and shown clear signs of improvement. The Nairobi Securities Exchange has shown demonstrable improvement in investor activities, signaling increased foreign direct investment flows into the country. For example, the NSE 20 share index improved to 2,162 points in January 2025 compared to 1,509 points in January 2024, while market capitalization also improved to 1,983.7 billion from 1,440 billion over the same period. So due to the easing of the food and energy prices as a result of various government interventions, we have also seen a reduction in inflation from a high of 9.6% in October 2022 to the latest 3.3% in January 2025. At the end of 2024, ladies and gentlemen, through the tax laws amendments, the government systematically set in place measures to ease off the burden on the payslip. And I want to emphasize this because there's been a lot of discussion and discourse and talk out there on the issue of payslips. I want to just demonstrate to you that the government is committed towards also addressing the pressures and pains that Kenyans are complaining about. This government is therefore for all Kenyans and continues to expand her implementation of policies meant to promote liquidity. The last point that I will mention is with regards to the pending bills, because this is another area that has led to lack of liquidity in our economy or depressed liquidity in the economy. So the issue of pending bills has persisted despite various efforts and committees established to address it. The failure to settle these bills in a timely manner has significantly affected the financial stability of businesses, particularly micro, small and medium enterprises, and government image has also been hurt. The urgency to resolve pending bills stems from their adverse effects on businesses, the economy and public confidence in our government. Delays in pending bill payments have led to reduced profitability, increased costs of capital, liquidity constraints, and disruptions to operations. Therefore, addressing pending bills is crucial for releasing liquidity, enhancing economic performance, and restoring confidence, particularly among MSMEs. The National Treasury and Economic Planning put in place a committee with very specific terms of reference. The committee has made significant progress, and in the interim, some of the findings or causes of pending bills have been identified, and which include, I will just mention three. One is mismatch between the budget and revenue budgeted by the government on an annual basis. Two, lack of exchequer once approved budget has been executed as a result of mismatch cited above. And finally, the budget cuts during the fiscal year while entities have committed their budgets. The committee has also identified some challenges, such as that some of the pending bills or claims from sugar companies, those relating to employee and labor, require verification at premises of the respective entities due to bulky nature of the supporting documents. The team is about to conclude its work, and to facilitate this, there was an extension of time. It has, however, made significant progress and has also made some interim recommendations to that end. And these include that the government should endeavor to budget within its means. 2, fast-track transition to accrual accounting. 3, implement public investment management regulations to the latter. 4, implementation of e-procurement to ensure all documents are captured electronically. 5, need to negotiate penalties and interest on pending bills in respect of arbitral and court awards. And 6, prioritize settlement of bills related to MSMEs, especially those of businesses owned by women, youth, and persons with disabilities. Injection of monies via the payment of these pending bills will, without doubt, ease things for the Kenyans who we serve. This is why, as the year rolls out in earnest, Kenyans must know that the government has their backs. We are not oblivious to your realities. I want to just hasten to add that the government is working on how to implement the report of this committee to ensure that pending bills are settled. It is not something that is going to be settled in a bullet, because you know we also have fiscal constraints. But I will tell you that the government has already given the National Treasury through the cabinet okay or green light to come up with a strategy on how to settle pending bills. You will shortly hear from the National Treasury on how we are going to settle the pending bills as soon as practical. Thank you very much, and that is the end of my statement.